everybody, and welcome back to another video. So today, I'm going to be discussing something in Wings of Fire that I've heard the fandom bring up so many times, and that's the lack of unique opportunities for readers in other countries. Well, a lot of Wings of Fire fans in the United States have been treated with FanWing Fest, both big and small, as well as the release of merch items over the years. Readers overseas have certainly felt neglected, and understandably so. I'm going to point out the issues many people have come to me about, and how I personally would go about this if I were Scholastic. There's quite a bit to talk about here, but before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙁𝙊, Thistle, Noopto, Pyronuke, Avril, Pandacake, Escarada, Adequin, Alex Cleaver, Shadow Hunter, and Atlas Stargazer. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. As mentioned in the introduction, there has been a lot going on for Wings of Fire fans in the United States. I mean, we got 5 official and huge FanWing Fest locations in voted upon states at the start of the summer, and across June there have been dozens of ones advertised by Scholastic and organized by local libraries. And even though it doesn't cover every city and state, it's still a promising expansion for readers that are too far from the provided locations. United States readers even have the opportunity to buy the new Wings of Fire merchandise on Amazon, featuring designs of the different characters in the books. However, there's been something missing throughout Wings of Fire's recent and past outreach to fans, and that's the international side of things. I mean, there are hundreds of countries outside of the US, but they've gotten nothing really. Besides one Scholastic event I can think of in Australia years ago, and Tui visiting a few events in Canada, the series hasn't really done much to cater to readers around the globe. This is a pretty hard task though, which I think people need to understand, as frustrating as it is. I mean, it's obviously easier for Scholastic to host and sell things in the country they're based out of. That saves them time, money, and potential legal issues overseas. And Wings of Fire does have a massive fan base in the United States, which have been satisfied for the most part by all these festivities and opportunities. But for readers in different parts of the world, it's a lot harder to engage. Sure, there are online spaces to communicate with fellow fans, but there are no fests, no merch shipping to a lot of other countries yet. They get translations years behind in a lot of cases. And even for the people that do read the English copies, it's just harder to connect with Wings of Fire readers nearby. And believe me, there is a huge fan base outside of the US. Whenever I posted anything about FanWing Fest, I literally received hundreds of comments of people disappointed from all other parts of the world. Expanding something like FanWing Fest would be really difficult though, and I'll expand on what I mentioned earlier. For one, Tui having to fly to another country is a long distance away. That's going to take up more than just one day of her time, and it'll be a lengthy journey for the necessary standees, cutouts, and activity materials to arrive in a whole new territory. That also includes shipping fees, which would be hefty, and plane tickets are not cheap. Additionally, I'm not sure how much reign Scholastic would have somewhere else. The Wings of Fire books are sold in other countries, but not in a place we usually find them, such as Barnes & Noble and other recognizable US stores. That means Scholastic would have to find foreign bookstores and convince them to host a Wings of Fire event in their venue, which not everyone may be willing to do. There's no Barnes & Noble or willing collaborator. At least for the latter, there's less of a chance of it. Communication barriers could also be present. And then you have to decide on where. There are so many towns, cities, countries, and continents out there. Sure, you can reach the more typical locations, such as London, Paris, Tokyo, and other spots. What about the smaller regions? It's not fair for readers in other countries to have to travel across such a large distance to reach the 1 or 2 fest locations in their country. Yeah, they'd probably host some kind of vote, but still, there's no way you can cover enough land, and not everybody will be satisfied. Because of these difficulties, I get it. I understand why Scholastic hasn't really expanded its reach to Wings of Fire fans outside of the borders of its home country. It comes with a lot, and ultimately risks. Would the company really make its money back? Not right away, most likely. However, I do think such events would boost the interest in other parts of the world. But there are lots of Wings of Fire fans already scattered out there, and they just want to be acknowledged. So, what can be done about this? It's tricky, but I do have a few ideas. For one, maybe Scholastic can organize from afar some smaller scale events, like the mini fest springing up across the country this summer. They can reach out to popular bookstore chains or lesser known ones and advertise it to them as a dragon book event with WAF at the center. Or Scholastic can find some kind of printing or production company for merchandise that is able to be shipped overseas. So many international folks want the cutie cuffs, but can't purchase them online, or wish to own one of the brand new shirts, but also can't order them from where they live. So, a good way to satisfy people is to think of them. Find a way with the rights to make some kind of stuff available in different parts of the world. Or, at the very least, maybe Scholastic could start advertising. I could totally envision some excited eyes landing on the series if it was advertised more in places like Japan, especially with their translations and stylized covers releasing. Ship posters to bookstores in other countries, get more copies of the books on shelves, and start to expand the title of Wings of Fire to readers everywhere. I know so many fans of the series that are from all over, and they really just want to be acknowledged by Scholastic somehow. So, if they just got anything, even an art contest they could enter, I feel like that'd be really nice. It even could be events where Tui's just in a live video call at the location. Just any way to make it accessible, yet still special. There are some challenges, but I do believe it's entirely possible for one day the series to grow its reach and benefit the people in other sections of the world. Especially with the TV series releasing someday. I have high hopes. What do you guys think about all this? Do you live somewhere else and agree of the sentiment of fellow international fans? What would you want to see if Wings of Fire did anything in your country? And if you're in the US, does this affect any of your friends? And did you get the chance to go anywhere or order anything yet? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.